welcome to Media Queen TV. This is our second episode for 2026. All about the art of self-discipline is what we're chatting about today. And it is a very special day because it is Ronald Bradley, our special guest, 83rd birthday today. Happy birthday to you, Ronald.
Thank you, Aldwyn.
I'm so excited for you. 83.
I've gotten so many birthday greetings today on my birthday, I can't count them.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, you are quite an icon on the Gold Coast. And for those who don't know Ronald, he is the managing director and founder of Hippocrates Health Centre in Madrabar. He came to the Gold Coast 40 years ago from North Hollywood, California, and now he brings some extraordinary people together for all sorts of events such as sound healings, yoga, some extraordinary, live food preparation, all sorts of really cool events at Hippocrates. And you are an amazing man who definitely walks your talk. So today,
yes, there's nothing more important, Aldwyn, than walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. Walking the walk, not just talking the talk. Absolutely. Now, the art of self-discipline today is the topic that you chose. Why did you choose this topic?
Because self-discipline is what changed my life, Aldwyn. Until I was 31, I was doing what most people do: eating rubbish, drinking almost every day, smoking cigarettes, smoking tobacco, taking aspirin for the hangovers I got after consuming the alcohol, doing all the things wrong. And at age 31, in 1 year, I stopped doing all that. I started meditating. I divorced. I changed careers. It was an eventful year. But that's what began me on the path to where I am now at age 83 in excellent health and continuing to live that way, self-disciplined every day.
Oh, I love that. My dad always said to me, you've got to be disciplined and organized, Aldwyn. There's these two golden things.
By the way, you're a very active lady.
I am very active. I'm not always the most organized or disciplined, but I am working on it. And there's certain areas in my life I am very organized and disciplined, and some areas I'm not. It's kind of an ongoing work in progress. And
we all are.
Yes, we're all a work in progress, exactly. So let's break down, what is self-discipline really?
It's deciding what outcome you want and refusing to be diverted from the path you need to take to get to that outcome. For example, the first one, the camera just moved.
Okay. So the camera's not being very self-disciplined right now. The camera is
mind of itself. Myself. I'll put a piece of tape on it right now. That again.
And this is the thing, life throws curveballs sometimes, right? This is a great example of how
life way of doing that.
All right. Sometimes life throws curveballs right in the middle of a live stream.
Okay, that should be better.
There we go. Yes.
All right. In 1974, shortly after I separated from my then wife, I met a lady I was very impressed with who had been meditating for about a year, and she encouraged me to do it. Now, at that time, there weren't a lot of options in terms of finding meditation teachers. There weren't any cassettes, there weren't any CDs, there wasn't any internet, but there was Transcendental Meditation, the organization. And the Beatles had adopted their principles about 5 years before, gotten a huge amount of publicity. And I decided, okay, I'll do it. I went there, he taught me how to meditate. They gave me my mantra, which I've never revealed to anyone, can't do that, and told me to go home and continue meditating. And I paid $250 to learn all this, which to me was a lot of money in 1974.
Sure.
So I went home, I sat twice a day, 20 minutes twice a day, and I tried to meditate. I didn't succeed very well. I'd look at my watch every few minutes. I think, is the time up yet? I think of other things I could or should be doing. I'd want to take notes. But I persisted because I knew if I continued, I would eventually get the results. And it took me 6 months of meditating twice a day, every day, to get into the meditative state, which is similar to sleep, doesn't last as long. But I tell everyone this, as a way of saying, don't expect instant results. You've been doing things wrong for whatever length of time, in my case, 31 years. You've got to change and do things differently. I did. I've been meditating for 52 years now, changed my life. And I cannot imagine my life without it.
That takes a lot of discipline. And I'm sure there'll be people out there saying, oh, I don't know how to meditate, or meditation's hard, my mind's too busy.
It is hard, but there are lots of ways to learn. You have thousands, millions of ways on the internet. Just do it. Force yourself to do it every day, regardless of what's going on. Our camera's playing up, Aldwyn.
The cameras.
Regardless of what's going on, commit yourself to meditating at all times.
Yes. Well, it's interesting because all successful people I know meditate.
Really?
And it's that inward journey, I think, that really gives clarity for your outward journey, right? Actually tapping into the inner consciousness or wisdom there's actually all around us, and tapping into our superconscious that happens when we meditate, or our God energy, or whatever you want to call it. It's about faith, I believe. That inward journey is about having faith in yourself and faith in the universe as well. And because often our mind can be so cluttered, we have 60,000 thoughts a day, and for most people, 98% of the thoughts are the same as we had yesterday, and 80% are negative for most people. So actually to be self-disciplined and to actually rise above all that negativity, which of course we've been programmed to be living in a state of fear and in a negative state from the media, from Hollywood, from, all of that, of course, from your hometown, of course, from Hollywood. Hollywood has been responsible for a lot of problems.
I live 10 miles away, just over the hill behind the Hollywood sign.
Right. Okay, which is actually a beautiful area. There's a lovely walk up there. I've been on a few times.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, beautiful spot. However, once we get conscious to our programming that has happened from a very young age, whether it's through our education system or, through the media, once we get conscious to that, then we can actually shift it and we can have a more empowered life, and we can get to 83 like Ronald is, and he's more youthful and more energetic than a lot of 50-year-olds I know. It's quite extraordinary. And I know you have quite a specific regime around how you stay so healthy nowadays, and how you keep so fit. And of course, that's at the ethos of what you do with Hippocrates Health and Wellness Centre in Madrabar, which is an extraordinary venue, and very excited to be running a retreat there myself coming up 10th to the 12th of April. So you'll be hearing more about that moving forward. But what are some of your secrets, I guess, to longevity? What are some of the things you do to stay so healthy?
Well, I would encourage everyone to get this book, written by my former partner. Can you see that okay on the screen?
Just bring it close to your, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Take control of your health.
Elaine lived to be age 94 and wrote this book at age 72. And these are the principles I follow every day in my life. I followed them before she wrote the book. I've continued to follow them. She was a great example. And of course, you met her yourself. She died just 3 years ago. And one of the principles I follow is 95% raw foods, very little cooked food, no burned food, no barbecued food, no fried food, and no manufactured food at all. In fact, most people don't realize this. I suggest everyone, before you buy any manufactured food, read the label, find out what the manufacturers put in it. Now, the latest trend in manufactured foods is finding a cheap filler, even cheaper than soy, which now is cricket flour. They're actually breeding crickets in huge buildings, and then when they die, grinding them up and making a flour out of them, which is indigestible. It just passes through the body undigested. But that's what you're getting when you're eating most manufactured foods.
This is the insect. The insect, the cricket, the insect. And what
Yes.
What sort of foods are they putting this cricket flour into?
You name it. Almost any protein powders for one.
Wow.
Anything that you might find soy in, you might now find cricket flour. It's a
Oh my,
vastly growing manufactured product.
wow. That is insane. You would think, how can they allow that to happen? They may as well feed people cockroaches. They may as well
Well, they
just crush.
might as well. That may be the next step. Who knows?
Wow. Wow.
So, and of course, I've been entirely vegan for the last 40 years. No animal products whatsoever, no cheese, no meat, no fish, no dairy, nothing. Simply raw greens, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, sprouts. That's it.
Yeah, as close to nature as possible. We actually don't need to eat meat. There's a whole
And I
debate.
take no drugs at all, no alcohol, no prescription drugs, no over-the-counter drugs. I tested my blood pressure this morning, which I do every day, 121/59 at age 83.
That's awesome.
The program works. If
And,
you
and
will.
what do you say to people who say, "Oh, you need meat for protein"? What do you say to those people?
You can get more protein in vegetables than you can in meat. It's simply a lie. You need for the average person, you need about 60 grams of protein per day. That's all. That's not very much. You can get that from a handful of green beans, for example.
Okay, green beans are a good source of protein.
Green
What about
beans, beetroot,
beetroot? Okay,
salad,
kale,
sprouts, yeah,
sprouts. Yeah, sprouts are very good, aren't they? Alfalfa
nuts
sprouts.
and seeds especially.
Yes. Now, I know another little tip too, a little secret of yours, is that at Hippocrates you're growing wheatgrass. Now,
We grow
wheatgrass.
wheatgrass. We juice wheatgrass and we drink the juice. I have it every day. Great stuff. You can literally live on wheatgrass juice. Personally, I find it rather boring, but you can if you want to.
Amazing. Yeah, so there's some great tips there. And of course, you're surrounded by nature. You connect with nature every day. I know, having done an
Virtually every day.
yeah,
Birds chirping every morning, every dusk. You've heard them.
the birds chirp.
Cockatoos. We love the cockatoos. They love us.
Yes, and you've got the lovely pool there. You've got the steam room. It's a fantastic location to get away and rejuvenate and retreat. And you've got some great products as well on your website. So could you explain some of the products that you sell as well?
Hippocrates.com.au. It's all there.
Yeah, have a look at that. Okay, I will pop that up in a moment on the screen. Now, the word Hippocrates, can you explain what it means?
Hippocrates was a Greek man who lived about 500 BC and taught, and his message was, let your food be your medicine. And we've certainly, he and others, and we have proven that to be true. When people come here and abstain from the manufactured foods, the sugar, the alcohol, the legal drugs, the illegal drugs, prescription drugs, they get better. They all get better. And everyone who wants to lose weight has lost weight. It really is simple, but not easy. Because once again, it requires self-discipline.
Yes, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. And what we've got, of course, now we've got a sickness industry that's going on. For example, my darling mother, who's about to turn 82, hopefully she'll make it to 82 on March 3. My dad's just turned 88, and they are both on a whole lot of pills. My mum has dementia. A week before Christmas, not last year, the year before, 2024, she had a fall under the care of a carer. She broke her arm and went into hospital for 3 months. And she went in with a broken arm and came out unable to walk. And now she's full-time in a nursing home. And there's all the emotional, dramas that go with that, with dad, 55 years of marriage. Dad's all alone now. He's not dealing very well with it emotionally. I've been, there to support them. But, you go into hospital with one problem sometimes and you come out with another much bigger problem. And that's exactly what happened to Mum. She didn't get enough.
You don't come out at all.
Or you don't come out at all, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And this happens again and again. There's a lot of negligence within the health system. There's a lot of issues with the health system, and I know the nurses, a lot of them do the best they can. And, traditional medicine has its place. I mean, I guess if you break an arm or something, maybe there's a place there for traditional medicine to put you back together. However, as much as you can do naturally for your body, the better, really, I believe.
I would encourage everyone to avoid hospitals as much as humanly possible. I haven't been in a hospital in decades because once you start on the conventional orthodox medicine path, it's a downward spiral. I have a GP I go to, Dr. Wu here at Robina, who offers free acupuncture in addition to being a GP. And he never tries to advise me on medical practices. He knows where I'm coming from, but he provides wonderful free acupuncture courtesy of the Australian government. Free acupuncture.
Yes, I've had
7-day doctors. That's nice for him.
Yeah, and it's fantastic that when people come to Hippocrates, they actually get a free, the free information about that, so that they can go and get some free acupuncture with Dr. Wu. And I've been to him before, and he's very good, so I can recommend that. Now, your camera has dropped a little bit again there, Ronald. It's sort of creeping down. It's been a bit cheeky, that little camera there. Now, everything has energy, of course. That's why, I'm kind of jokingly say the camera is not being very self-disciplined, or maybe it is being self-disciplined in dropping a bit. It's it's interesting how life throws curveballs, and it's about how we respond to these curveballs.
Okay, that should last for a while, I hope.
That's great. And that's where self-discipline comes in as well, because life does throw unexpected curveballs. I couldn't help the fact my mum had a fall, or I couldn't help the fact that, there wasn't enough physio support. I did the very best I could, but of course it was Christmas time, very few physio. I mean, there's few physio at the best of times. Might be one physio on the ward, and this was at Caboolture Hospital, looking after 40 rooms, and generally speaking, most Aussies in general sort of will do the minimum work for the maximum pay. That's generally how it goes. It's not like encouraged to
human nature.
Probably human nature. Yes, probably human nature in general. I think we do have a little bit in Australia, a little bit of this sense of entitlement, and if the government keeps paying people not to work in Australia. We pay people not to work here, and this is why so many people love coming to Australia, because, you can get paid not to work. You're not encouraged to work. And if you do have a business, generally the government will tax you to buggery, or if you have properties, several properties, you've got land tax, right? And then you'll get hit to the hilt with that as well in Australia. However, we are the lucky country, and it's still a beautiful country, regardless of our politicians and some of their decisions that they make around our taxpayers' dollars. So self-discipline is something that is a practice, I believe, as well. So let's dig a bit deeper into this self-discipline topic, Ronald, or anything else you want to say about what I've just said.
Well, of course, there's exercise as well. Now, an exercise we would recommend, again, it's free on the internet. They're called the Tibetan longevity exercises, and they're very well produced, and they're free. Just Google it and you can find them. There are 5 exercises that can be done every day. I do them every day. They do help.
Okay, and what can you explain what these are like, these exercises? What's
they involve turning around a slow spin up to 21 times. You start small if you need to, and doing push-ups 21 times, and then getting on the back and doing what I would call backward push-ups 21 times or less. It only takes about 10 minutes to do them.
Wow. Gee, that's great. I'll have to look that up. Okay, well, that's a great tip there.
Tibetan longevity exercises.
Okay, fantastic. Tibetan longevity.
Another piece of self-discipline, very important, especially for as people age, the hormonal drive diminishes somewhat. But I would suggest to everyone a hard lesson I've learned over the years: never have sex with anyone who has more problems than you have. Because you will get dragged down.
Yes, and you do take on the energy of the people you sleep with. So you want to be very conscious
If
of
I
that.
had known that and followed it at age 21, my life would have been different. I might not have dissipated my 20s. We learn these things the hard way.
Yes, yes. Well, I think we've all done things at times we've regretted, and it's part of the journey of growth, of longevity, of aging. We have that wisdom that comes from all these lessons that we've learned of how we might do things differently. However, it's all part of our journey. It's all part of our story as well. I was just speaking this morning at the BX Rabina meeting about transforming fear to freedom, the power of your story. And in fact, we put a book out last year, this one here, Fear to Freedom, which you came to the launch for. Thank you so much for coming. And that's with 13
Thank you
authors.
for writing.
Yeah, it's a very, very powerful book. 13 authors from around Australia, 13 people sharing their story of how they've transformed from fear to freedom and the wisdom that they've learned on that journey. So I'd love to ask you, Ronald, on a bit of a sidetrack question here on where is somewhere in your life where you've had a lot of fear and you've overcome that fear and you've come to a place of freedom, you've had some wisdom, learnings on the journey that has helped shape who you are today. Can you?
I have a sign on my office wall, I've had it for 30 years, which reads simply, "Plan for a miracle."
Nice.
Which sounds contradictory, and it is. But it's true. If you plan and work and are committed and you need a miracle, you'll get one when you need one. I found that to be true throughout my life.
Plan for a miracle. And where's somewhere in your life where you'd say there's been a miracle?
Well, during the early days when we started Hippocrates Health Center, really what our program was about is selling deprivation. Deprivation's a tough sale. But we did it. We told people, if you do this, you will get the results and you will feel better and you will learn what to do at home. Most people aren't willing to do that for any price. Enough were, we managed to keep our doors open and succeeded. So that's one example. But there are other words of wisdom that I've come across over the years I want to share with you.
Sure.
I'm taking my eyes off the camera for a moment.
That's fine.
Be the person you want the other person to be.
Oh, nice.
Do you like that one?
I do. Be the person you want the other person to be.
A psychologist gave me that 50 years ago.
And that's particularly if you are looking for a love match as well. Like you say, okay, I want someone who's really fit and healthy.
Yes, but it's broader than that. If you want people to treat you ethically, warmly, friendly, cordially, be the same way. If you're not that way, you're not going to attract people who are.
True. Treat others as you want to be treated.
As my mother used to say, to thine own self be true, and follow the golden rule.
Yeah, I love that.
And another one, people often have told me, oh, your diet's so extreme, I just couldn't do it. You're an extremist. My reply to them is, yes, we are extremists, but what we're planning, what we're seeking is extremely good health and extreme longevity.
Sure.
I think that's a good thing to want to have.
Yeah, and really the fastest food that you will eat is straight from the garden. That's the fastest food. We've been taught
organic as much as possible, sure. Doesn't have to be. If you're burning food and barbecue or frying or microwaving, you're creating many more toxins than you would get from eating ordinary conventionally grown food anyway. So if you're not going to be totally organic, again, don't burn it, don't microwave it, don't barbecue, and don't fry.
What about soups? Soup or stir fry? So no stir frying, ideally.
Stir frying ideally is minimal. What you're doing is simply warming the food.
Right.
So that'd be the best source of frying I can think of. Definitely not air frying. They are dangerous.
Oh, and what about noodles or rice, that kind of thing?
Well, that's gluten, and we don't recommend gluten. I never eat gluten.
Okay. And bread as well. Not a good idea.
No bread, no pasta, no noodles, none of that. Gives me instant mucus when I do it anyway. It tells me we shouldn't do that.
Right. Okay. Time to clear out the cupboards for some of us. Uh, yes. Well, it's interesting. A lot of Asians eat rice. So rice is a staple food. And in Australia, we love our bread. We love our burgers. And in America,
Brown
it's
rice is not terrible. I wouldn't have white rice because you're removing 90% of the ingredients when you get rid of the bran anyway. But yes, brown rice on occasion, I would have that among
right.
the 40% of cooked foods I eat.
I've actually heard that noodles has plastic ground up in it as well.
You
I've
wouldn't be
heard.
the least bit surprised. I trust food manufacturers about as much as I trust the conventional medical profession or the government. Don't
Mm,
believe a word they say until proven otherwise.
yes, and most people would just have no idea, as you say, if there's ground crickets in the food, or how the food has been processed or
That's
delivered.
right.
Mm, yes.
Including cricket flour, as we mentioned. And by the way, you're a great example too. You avoided the COVID vaccination. I avoided it.
Yes,
We
did
didn't
avoid.
do it.
No, we
And
didn't.
many people say, oh, I had to do it. I had no choice, whatever. Okay. It's a choice they made. We all had the choice of not doing it.
We all had a choice. People say they had no choice because they wanted to see their family in nursing homes, they wanted to travel, they wanted to stay in the workplace that said that they had to do it to stay in that
Well,
workplace.
those are reasons.
And
But
they,
we always have choice.
yes, yes. And I feel for it. There's a lot of people that had the jab, unfortunately, now and that regret that they had it.
Mhm.
I wonder if there is any way that they can clear that toxic poison out of their body. I
Well,
wonder.
the first thing we've always recommended for detoxification is colonic irrigation.
Right.
It gets the bad stuff out quickly, as easily as possible, with minimal headaches or nausea or vomiting or any of that. So look it up. Find a local colonic irrigation therapist. Do it. You will feel better from doing it.
And what about fasting as well?
Well, I don't encourage water fasting
Right.
because it is extreme.
Right.
Fasting on juices, sure, wonderful. You can do that for a long time.
Okay. Not on the bottled juices, making your own juices.
No. Make your own fresh juice.
Fresh juice, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's things like Kabbalah juice, which Tyler Tolman talk about, which has got carrot, apple, 3 different colored apples, green.
Beetroot, apple. Vegetable is better. You get a lower sugar content. But sure, you can juice. Anything can go with anything. Don't worry about food combining. Drink as much as you want. You will feel better because of it. But when juice fasting, we encourage everyone to have colonic irrigation at the same time. Again, you're getting the toxins out faster.
Mm, mm. Yeah, great. Just back to the cricket flour for a minute. Is cricket flour called something within food? Like if you look at ingredients, will they actually?
Yeah, you can look for the word acheta, Acheta.
ACHETA, acheta.
Acheta. Look for that on the label. That's the word they use. It's from a Latin word for crickets.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Always
Wow.
read labels. Always ask. Don't trust shop assistants. If you're not sure about a product, ask the manufacturer.
And the thing is that the labels are so small. You need a magnifying glass to even see the labels.
That might be intentional.
Yeah.
Sure.
Probably
You do. Protein powder is probably the most egregious example. I've seen protein powders with 50 different ingredients.
Wow.
In small print.
So that would be protein bars as well then, would have all that crap in it.
Well, that's right. You're simply becoming more toxic.
Wow. Wow. No wonder so many people have inflammation.
No wonder.
So,
and there's so many more vaccinations available now. When you and I were children, we might get 5, 6, 7, 8 vaccinations by the time we were 18. Now the recommended dosage is 72.
Wow, 72.
72 vaccinations by age 18.
Wow. Wow. And, unfortunately, there's a lot of vaccine injured people out there. And look, some people have got no side effects at all, which is fantastic. However, it's kind of like Russian roulette. You might be
Well,
okay.
and I think in many cases they're getting placebos, although we'll never know for sure. They're not going to tell us that.
No.
My daughter and her family got the COVID vax. I encourage them to not do it. They did it anyway, but no one seems to have suffered from it.
Amazing.
And on the other hand, you and I have heard and seen so many horrible stories. A woman I know had a healthy husband, age 55 or so, wanted to travel, got one COVID vaccination, fell dead 6 days later.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. My dad got shingles from it at 84. He got shingles right down one. Oh, he admitted himself to hospital for a month. But yeah, I mean, there's many cases of people dying, which of course you won't see in the mainstream media or even on social media because of all the censorship. You might see it on BitChute or Rumble or Telegram. Some of those places you'll see this kind of information. And other places, but that's the thing, is there's also a lot of censorship of this information. And there's a movie or documentary called Cancer: The Forbidden Cures, and it showed about 14 different types of cancer cures that were all shut down by pharmaceutical companies. All these people were taken to court, and you sort of wonder about the evilness and the darkness behind some of the people behind these.
Well, it's competition for orthodox medicine. You know about black salve. I've used black salve. Have you used it?
No.
No, you never used it? Okay, it's wonderful for skin cancers. We don't sell it because to sell it is illegal.
Right.
But I've used it, 24 times on small skin cancers, and if it's not a skin cancer, it doesn't burn. If it is a skin cancer, the cell burns it out. It becomes problematic if you wait a long time and have a huge cancer. I don't have that personal experience. But we've made a video about it. In fact, you can find it on our website entitled One Answer to Cancer. It'll tell you exactly how to make it for yourself and the success stories that many people have achieved from using it.
That's black salve.
Black salve. But it competes with the orthodox skin cancer industry, and they don't want any part of it. That's why it's illegal.
And
50 years ago, you could buy it at a veterinarian to use it on your dog, and you could use it on yourself too. Now veterinarians don't sell it.
Interesting. And also they put out articles saying that it's all rubbish and that it'll cause more harm than good and all that sort of thing.
Sure.
So, do your own research, people tuning in right now. Thank you for joining us, those on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube right now. Hello. Let us know where you're joining us from. We'd love to hear from you, and we love this show to be interactive as well. If you have any questions for Ronald or myself, then please pop those into the comments there. Yes, do your own research. Don't believe everything you hear in the mainstream media or even by Googling, because the people behind Google have got other agendas at play. And if you really want to know what's going on in the world, like it says in the Thrive documentaries, it says follow the money trail. That's how you
really how true.
Follow the money trail. That'll tell you exactly what's going on in the world. That One Answer to Cancer was brilliant. And in fact, that's how I first found out about Hippocrates, because I Googled and found that. And then I found your book, Take Control of Your Health, which is an absolute Bible of health. It's a fantastic book. And you've also got a book of quotes, haven't you? What's your book about?
My book?
Yes.
Well, this one, the Australian Affirmations book.
There you go.
Which consists of hundreds of wall-size affirmations that you can stick on your wall, stick on your computer screen, and encourage positive thinking.
And that is so important for longevity as well, is your mindset. Your mindset is absolutely crucial. And I love positive affirmations. I have positive affirmations all over the place as well. I absolutely love it. And I love it, Hippocrates, how you've got all the quotes all along the top of the main event center.
And a living room wall.
Yes.
We often find people walking around their cameras taking pictures of all of them.
Yes, so good. So good. What gave you the idea to do that book?
being exposed to occasional negativity and deciding what can we do to make it more positive. And that was a perfect place to put them above the windows, where the space was unoccupied anyway.
Yeah, fantastic. Love it. Hello.
Aldwyn said earlier, we often have events of various kinds here, many of them free, open to the public. Simply go to our website, hippocrates.com.au/events, and it's updated every week.
Yes, that one there. That's how you spell it, HIPPOCRATES, for those on Spotify later. You'll find that they're .com.au. And we've got Aimable. Hello, Aimable from, here he is, Aimable on LinkedIn. Yamana, I think that's how you pronounce it, Niziyama, CEO and co-founder of Holistic Impact Hub. Interested with this special episode. Oh, beautiful. Well, welcome, Aimable. Thank you for joining us. And that's great that you're into holistic health as well. So that's brilliant. And I think, really, when you look at your values in life, I was just listening to Dr. John Demartini again yesterday, and I love Demartini. He's always talking about values. What are your values? And if health is not one of your highest values, then I recommend that you take a close look at I don't know what that is. Anyway, a bit of noise in the background there. So what are your values? And if health is not one of your highest values, then most likely you're not going to be in a very healthy state. So they say a lot of people will invest their health to get their wealth, and then later in life they invest their wealth to get their health. However, if they're in traditional medicine field, then most likely they're investing their wealth, but they're not necessarily getting their health back either, depending on where they put their money. So for example, people get cancer, they put it into chemo. And as Don Tolman said many years ago, more people die from the treatment of cancer than from cancer itself.
Absolutely.
So choose carefully where you invest your money as to, is it really going to give you the best health? And do your research. Again, do some thorough research, not just using Google. Look on platforms like BitChute, Rumble, Telegram. Look on some of the alternative truth platforms that are not censored. I've had a lot of censorship on Facebook and on YouTube, interestingly. And I always think, well, if there's nothing to hide, why is there any censorship if there's nothing to hide? As long as, of course, you're not being cruel to anyone, you're being kind and compassionate, you're just sharing your story, well, what's the harm in that, right? We're all entitled to share our story. So, so Ronald, let's look at your story a little bit more. Coming from America, now, of course, you met Elaine. Can we talk about how you met Elaine and how that union happened?
Well, Elaine was 15 years older than me. And we met when we were both on the board of directors of a community action group in Beverly Hills. The action we were pushing for was to ban, or to create, I should say, non-smoking sections in restaurants, which seems pretty innocent today. In 1979, it was considered radical. The tobacco industry spent a lot of money defeating our action to make that happen. It didn't happen. That's how Elaine and I met. And
wow,
she had been a movie actress, not of top rank, but she'd acted in a number of TV shows and movies with Clark Gable and Sean Connery and a few others, James Mason. And she'd left the movie career and established herself as an interior designer and refurbished a lot of posh Beverly Hills homes. And she was retired at age 50. I was 36 at the time. And I decided, this woman is interesting. She's a wonderful example of health at age 50. I mean, in my opinion, she was Playboy quality at age 50.
Wow.
And I decided, I'm going to listen to what she has to say. And many years later, she told me that I was the only person who ever listened to her. Aww. This is before she wrote the book. After she wrote the book, she got some who were listening. So I followed her example, and it's led me to where I am now. And I'm still with the example that she set.
And I'm so glad you stood for no smoking in restaurants and in venues, because I remember the days when you always end up stinking of cigarettes. And I used to be a smoker as well myself for many years, and now I cannot stand the smell of
Oh
tobacco.
no, can't stand it. And it was shortly after that, this was 1979 when we pushed for it in California. By 1990, even here in Australia and in America, smoking was largely banned indoors. So we're only slightly ahead of our time.
And now I believe you have to be 4 meters from any property to smoke nowadays. So things have changed slowly but surely. Things have been changing. And I think now, post-COVID, I think a lot more people are concerned about their health. I think, we had mass suicide rates through COVID, of course. We had 4 times the number of suicide rates through COVID, and about 1 million people a year worldwide take their own lives. So that's huge. So the mental health statistics after COVID have been shocking. However, those that have survived it, have made it through, are now, I think, even more interested in living great lives and living, having longer lives. And we've seen a mass migration of people, not just coming to Australia, but also a lot of people migrating to southeast Queensland from the southern states.
Yes.
From Melbourne and Sydney. A lot of people moving north because of the lifestyle, wanting that sea change, wanting more of a relaxed lifestyle. And now, of course, many of us can work from home as well, so we don't need to be stationed necessarily in oppressive states like Melbourne, where they had 262 days of lockdown. I'm surprised Dan Andrews is still alive, to be honest.
He's not in prison. As far as I know, Aldwyn, you could correct me if you know otherwise. I don't know of any government official, bureaucrat, elected office who's done any prison time for the COVID crimes they permitted anywhere in the world. Do you?
No.
It still hasn't. And exactly. All this happened beginning 6 years ago. And what's it going to take? I don't know.
Well, exactly. And why was it that politicians were exempt from taking the COVID jab? Now, I wonder why that was when it was compulsory and safe and effective for everybody else, but the politicians were exempt.
Why is that? Perhaps they can tell us. Why is it that they're now pushing for a royal commission to investigate the Bondi shootings when there's no talk of a royal commission to investigate the COVID crimes? Why is that?
Yes, exactly. More smoke and mirrors and lies, etc., from government. Whenever they say something is safe and effective, question it. Such as the fire ant.
They say anything, question it.
Yes, exactly. Well, the fire ant eradication program, where there's not even fire ants in a lot of places. They're basically poisoning. They're poisoning organic farming. They're poisoning the bees. They're poisoning natural farming. They're poisoning our waterways. They're poisoning our animals, and they're calling it a safe and effective method. And if you look at what's really going on, you'll be shocked.
They said that about COVID too, but we stood up to them. They wanted to come in here, which is what we're on is a forest here of 9 acres, and the fire ants don't even like forests. They like broad meadows, and we simply refused to have it. Wrote letters. Went on Facebook, and they left us alone. Touch wood. So far, so good.
Great. And there are ways there's ways you can combat that, and they're actually making the fire ant problem worse because they're killing all ants, and other ants are one of the best ways to combat fire ants. And you can actually kill fire ants with certain hot water treatments. You don't need all these chemicals. But of course, who's profiting from this $1.2 billion government program using taxpayers' money to poison Australia? Who's profiting from this? Where is the money trail going?
All of the money. In America, I've read that they don't use the fire ant killer at all, the poison. It's banned in America.
It's banned.
And in New South Wales, they can't use it near a body of water. In Queensland, they don't seem to care.
But they do. They just dump it from helicopters. It gets into waterways. It's killing a lot of frogs, a lot of sea life. There's lots of evidence of this. Have a look at the Facebook group, Stop the Toxic Fire Ant Program, or Fire Ant Treatment Natural Alternatives or Alternatives. There's a few Facebook groups there that have a lot of information about this. Do your own research once again, and do not trust the government in a nutshell. Just don't trust the government in general. Anything you say,
don't trust them on anything.
Yes.
In fact, one of the reasons I turned libertarian, in fact, I supported the Libertarian Party in the last election. One reason was in my very first presidential election I could vote for, I was 21, 1964. It was Lyndon Johnson versus Barry Goldwater. And Goldwater had me concerned about his bellicose nature about approaching the Russians. Johnson claimed to be a man of peace. So I voted for Johnson. Within a few months, I was inducted. There's still conscription on. I was in the Army. And within a year after that, I was in Vietnam. And I voted for the peace candidate. That kind of prevented me from ever doing that again.
Uh-huh.
In fact, I think I'm probably the only person in Australia who voted against Ronald Reagan 4 times, lost every time. Twice for governor of California, he won. Twice for president, he won, even though he didn't get my vote. That's why.
Well, at least you made your vote count. At least you said your,
for what it was worth.
For what it's worth. I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, I just don't vote." Well, I mean, sure, there's a lot of rigging that happens in the voting system as well. So, some people might question if it's worth voting at all.
Yes. Well, someone wiser than I once said, if voting made any difference, they wouldn't allow it anyway.
Yeah. You've got to laugh. But, with all of this, with all these things in the world that we cannot control, right, all you can do is get informed for yourself and get as empowered as you can for yourself.
And create the best life possible for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And trust
your intuition. The government's not going to do it for you.
No, exactly. Trust your intuition as well. Like I knew when COVID was blasted all over the media, and whenever something's blasted all over the mass media, I know from my 40 years of media experience that usually there's some other agenda at play. So always trust your gut. Trust your gut. I knew there was something off about the whole COVID thing. I wasn't sure what it was at the point, but I knew there was just something to feel right about it for me.
You probably remember that cruise ship incident in March of 1960 in Sydney Harbor, 2020, in Sydney Harbor.
Yes.
When 10 people died allegedly of COVID.
Allegedly, yeah.
Within a week or two, they published a list of all the people who had died and their age. And the average age was 80. And the moment I saw that, I thought, this is not a pandemic. Pandemics affect every age. And people die at about 80. So what's the big deal? Then I knew it was a fraud. I was suspicious beforehand, but after that I knew.
Yes, exactly. And if you're thinking to yourself right now, oh, this is all conspiracy. Well, the only conspiracy is really what we see in the mainstream media. But do your own research, because the difference between conspiracy and the truth is usually about 6 months. So,
and you and I are conspiracy realists, not conspiracy theorists.
Yes, realists, exactly. Exactly. But a lot of people don't want to admit that they made a bad choice or that.
That's human nature.
Yeah, and if you did, well, obviously you did the best with what you knew at the time, but now knowing information differently, are you going to go out and get your booster shots? Most likely not.
Unlikely.
Very unlikely, yeah. Even if it's compulsory, right? You always have choice. You always have choice.
At this point, if they made alleged vaccination compulsory, I think we'd have riots in the street, because there are enough people now who simply don't believe them and will not accept it.
Yes, exactly. There would be absolute riots in the street. We've got a few very cool people joining us. Hello, Corinda Marley, who does the Empowerment Extend show in the UK. One of our great followers. Great to see you there, Corinda. Sean O'Neill here on LinkedIn. Wanting the quieter demographic too. Wanting the quieter demographic. Yes, we're wanting to reach the quieter demographic here. Maybe you could expand on that. Not quite sure what you're trying to say there, Sean, but or maybe you're commenting on something that we said. But thank you for joining us, Sean. Appreciate that. We've got Amiable. He says, I'm really honoured to hear from you about mental health. It sounds good. How you are sharing? Oh, it sounds good how you're sharing it. Thank you, Amiable. I appreciate that. And something else I do for mental health is we've got the Good News Day and the Global Good News Challenge, where people can share gratitude and good news on social media. So regardless of all the stuff going on in the world that we can't control, that sometimes can have people feeling very depressed or very angry about the state of the world, there are also some extraordinary people in the world, some beautiful people who are doing a lot of great things for the community, for animals, for the environment. And I shout out to all the conscious ones out there that are making a difference, the heart-centered entrepreneurs who are out there making a difference, like yourself, Ronald, who is bringing together such extraordinary people with your health centre there. It's phenomenal, some of the events that you have there. I highly recommend, if you're joining us, check out the website as we put up earlier, and look at the events tab in there, hippocrates.com.au. Check out the events tab in there. You'll see some of the amazing events that are coming up. And Amiable says, I'm writing from Burundi, and I hope that next time I'd like to connect in order to join earlier. Don't miss anything from your program. Well, the good news is, Amiable, that the replay is up on all the main sites. You'll see it on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, on my YouTube channel. After this show, you'll see the whole replay. So you can always go back and watch the beginning. If you've missed out on the beginning, or if anyone else has just joined us, you can always go back and watch the replay. However, it's always best if you can join us live and be part of the conversation. So let's come back to self-discipline again now, Ronald. We're talking about self-discipline and how important self-discipline is. For those who feel that they're not very self-disciplined, what do you suggest to them on how they can build the muscle of self-discipline?
Take one positive step, Aldwyn. Commit to walking in your neighborhood, whatever, in the park, 15 minutes a day. That's all. It's 15 minutes a day, regardless of the weather. Wear a raincoat, umbrella if you have to. One positive step at a time. And building discipline without one step will lead to the next step, and the next step, and the next step. It's a gradual process. For the average person, you've been doing the same thing all of your life, and it's not getting you the results you want. You take a step in the other direction, but only one step at a time. If you try to do too much, it's overpowering. You will give up.
Yes, one baby step at a time. As they say, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Not that we want to eat elephants, because we love elephants.
Yeah.
But how do you eat? How do you get through a big project? You break it right down. And building self-discipline and having those daily small practices, you build confidence in yourself to be more self-disciplined moving forward. And I think that self-worth, self-love, self-belief is really lacking for a lot of people. A lot of people are very hard on themselves, I find. They talk to themselves very badly and say, oh, you're such an idiot or whatever. Like, notice yourself. If you say these kind of things to yourself, where did that come from? Like, what happened? We're as kids, we come into the world and we're so happy and we're out there, and then we get shut down, told don't do this, don't do that. And then you might put your hand up in school and you go to answer a question and then you get it wrong and you think, oh gosh, I'm never going to answer a question again, I'm never going to put my hand up again, I'm never going to express myself again because I'll look bad, or I'm not good enough. Some of these beliefs can happen for people. So to build up the opposite of that, to actually say, yes, actually I am good enough, by taking those small steps, as you say, doing the meditations, doing the little bits of walking, maybe changing a habit with how you eat, maybe eating more raw food during the day, having more filtered good water, without the fluoride, which is calcifying our pineal gland and making us all a bit dumber. Kind of like AI is making people a bit dumber too, isn't it? In effect, if you rely on AI rather than your critical thinking. And AI is great for some things. I'm not saying it's not. However, critical thinking, creativity, getting out in nature, we have so much that is available to us that is absolutely free, as in going for a walk, using your legs, exercising your muscles, getting that blood flow around your body, connecting with nature, connecting with the birds, looking at the trees and noticing all the different types of green, different shades of green in nature. That in itself is a great exercise. Mindfulness, so important. All of these things add up to living a great long life like Ronald has here at 83 today.
Well, by the way, I want to put in a mention for a website I discovered that will tell you exactly what day you're going to die. Now, I've mentioned this to many people, and many people have reacted with, no, I don't want to know the exact date I'm going to die, which is okay. You don't have to. But I was curious, and I entered it, and it says, I gave my personal information, all that stuff. It says I'll live to 114, which means I have 31 years left. I'm happy with that.
You're just getting started.
113. I'll probably want to live past 114, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yes, it may change as you get older too. And what is that website, Ronald?
It is www.deaf,
Yeah,
as in die,
Deaf.
hyphen, don't
Yeah,
spell out the word hyphen, just dash,
yeah.
clock.org. Deaf clock
Deaf-clock.org.
dot deaf-clock.org.
Oh wow! Predicting the demise of others since 2006. Oh wow, that is
You
an
want me to
interesting.
try it, Aldwyn?
I've
You want to
actually.
see
I'm going to pop
exactly
it.
what day you're going to die?
When will you die? Okay. When will you die? Find out. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to put this in the comments. Death-clock.org. Wow. Well, I'm very curious. And look, it's a prediction, I guess. It may or may not be true. Who
Who
knows? But
knows? Yeah.
who knows? But it's a bit of fun anyway. You can go on there and pop
And
your details.
also, while I'm thinking of it, there's a movie I'd like to plug. It's a movie that came out 6 years ago. I've seen it 3 times. It won the Oscar for Best Screenplay, and it's about revenge and about how women are mistreated badly by some men. And I'm not going to say more than that. I think every child, at least at age 14, should be required to see it to learn disciplined behavior and learn what the consequences of lack of self-discipline can lead to. And the title is Promising Young Woman. And you can even find it on Netflix.
Okay, Promising Young Woman. Okay.
Promising Young Woman.
I won't put that
One
one
of
up.
my favorites because I've seen it 3 times in 6 years.
Okay, so the trailer's up online. Okay, all right, that sounds very interesting. Promising Young. Okay, well, there you go. Have a look at that.
It's completely unpredictable. Terrific movie.
Great. Okay, Promising Young Woman. And actually, I do love movies. That's something I love to do. So, on the topic of longevity, how important is it to do what you love, Ron?
Do what you well. When you said, I thought book title. Do what you love. The money will follow.
Ah,
I think
yes.
it is important because if you're not doing what you love, you're simply putting in the time to earn a living, and that's a rather dull life, I think.
Yes. Oh, why would you want to live life doing stuff you don't enjoy? If you're doing something,
go ahead.
If you're doing something just for the money, you're not going to stick with it either. So there's a lot.
You had a good job as a journalist.
I did.
For an Orthodox news company. You left it because you wouldn't compromise your principles. And for that, I admire you.
That's right. I did leave it. And I had the VIP treatment all over town. I was getting invited to all the big events and, meeting celebrities and interviewing, the likes of Hugh Jackman and Cyndi Lauper and Russell Crowe. And, I had the life. However, I was working my butt off in a job that I was not appreciated in. And you just were not allowed to think differently at all working in the media. You had to follow the company line. You couldn't, rock the boat on certain things. And, if there's a certain agenda by the company and you go against that agenda, you're out, So it was something where it was soul destroying, actually, in many ways. It was soul destroying. I actually loved being an entertainment reporter towards the end of my career. I did enjoy that, but it was big hours. I was burning out. There's a 5-year burnout with journalists. And I was seeing the BS behind the scenes as well, which I didn't approve of. There was a lot of, backstabbing, a lot of gossiping, a lot of all of that. And I was quite happy to leave it. And, I started my business in 2002 as AA Expose Photography. And then when I left my position as a journalist at the Sun newspapers in 2005, it evolved into AA Expose Media. And the AA is for my initials, not for Alcoholics Anonymous. And I have not looked back since. I have loved running my own show, doing what I want, when I want, in my own business ever since, and helping people share their message and genius with the world. It's been a really, inspiring journey, and it's been a rocky road at times, but, I've also invested into my business and personal development. I've invested at least $1 million into my business and personal development in the last 20 years. And that has also helped shape who I am. And it also gave me the confidence to step out from a job, as they say, a job is JOB, is just over broke for a lot of people, right? Just over broke is what it stands for often. But if you're in a job that you love, fantastic, right? But if you're doing a job that you're not enjoying and you're doing it just for the money, then you might want to look at changing that, or at least working towards something else where you're going to, it's going to light you up and you're going to be more inspired. Because the fact is, you look at the stats, a third of people die by the age of 65. Right? A third of people die by the age of 65, and 90% of people die with regrets. Now, I truly believe that if you're doing what you love and you do what you love, the money will come, as they say. Do what you love, then you will have a lot more joy, which will then help you have a healthier life because you're happier. Right? My dad at 88, God bless him, he just turned 88, 16th of January, like I did just 2 weeks ago. And Dad says, I just want to be happy and healthy. That's his whole goal in life now, to be happy and healthy. And mostly he does that, even with the challenges of mum going to the nursing home, etc. But, he really does, live a happy, healthy life as much as possible. And sometimes that's a simple life. Sometimes it's doing the simple things. You don't have to be doing a million things to have a happy, healthy life. And also knowing your boundaries. Let's talk about boundaries here, Ronald. There's a lot of people out there that are people pleasers. I know I was for a long time. And I had to learn personal boundaries for myself, and also to eliminate negative distractions of people from my life as much as possible. So how has that played out in your life, Ronald?
Well, as I said, never have sex with anyone who has more problems than you have.
Yes.
And that, since I adopted that principle, my life has improved enormously.
Yes.
And it's important to know what you want. I worked for the U.S. government for 6 years, and I felt that I was dying at my desk. But leaving that good income and security was the most frightening thing I ever did. But it was a great growth experience, and it resulted in meeting Elaine, moving to Australia, starting a Hippocrates Health Center. All these good things have happened. It's hard, but if you do it, you'll never regret it.
Yes. And also, it's not just, who you have sex with that's important. It's also who you hang around with, because, they say 95% of your happiness or misery comes from who you choose as a life partner. But if you think about who you're spending a lot of time with, is it something where you're feeling uplifted from that experience with that person, or are you feeling drained of energy? We're happy either when people come into the room or when they exit the room, either when they enter or they exit. So notice, are you happier when people come into your life or when they exit your life? And of course, we all have our ups and downs. We all have our times we're feeling great, times we're feeling crap. But in general, overall, are the people in your life uplifting you? Are they happy about your success, or are they secretly jealous? It's just interesting to notice, to have that self-awareness. And that's where things like meditation, as you said at the beginning, is so important, to tap into, what you truly want, and tap into our universal consciousness and realize that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, right? And we can get very stuck in our humanness, in the monkey chatter in our minds. We can get very stuck there rather than coming from a place of love and abundance and kindness and compassion. And you can be kind and compassionate to the negative people in your life, because they say hurt people, right? Hurt people, and healed people. So there's people who are being nasty right now. They're probably going through a lot of stuff. However, you don't have to take all that on board for yourself. You can bless and release. You can still be kind and compassionate and be loving, and you can do it from a distance. You can have some safe boundaries. And sometimes these people are family members, and sometimes you have people in your life that might be uplifting 1 minute and then very negative the next minute. It's just looking at the overall. If you look at the 80-20 rule, 80% of the time, are they people you really want to hang out with, that brings you joy to hang out with these people, or are they people you feel 80% negative with? And you just want to minimize contact with negativity, because it will bring your energy down, as you say, Ronald. It will bring your energy down, just like eating crap food brings your energy down.
That's right. In fact, one of the reasons that I came to Australia was my family. My mother was a pill popper from the time she was 30, pharmaceutical drugs, Valium, sleeping pills, antidepressants. My father was a functional alcoholic. My brother was a mix of both. And I just didn't want to be around it any longer.
Mm.
So Elaine and I came here. We both avoided all of those things.
Yeah, well, that's great that you did. And there is a lot of addiction out there, unfortunately. And often
Oh,
these
more
addictions,
than ever. More. That
yeah,
Alcoholics Anonymous has admitted they're less successful now than they were 50 years ago because there are so many pharmaceutical options that didn't exist 50 years ago that are as
sure,
damaging as alcohol.
sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, it's massive. And it's just again noticing, are the habits that you have in life, are they serving you or are they enslaving you? Are you, are you at the mercy of your habit, or is the habit in control of you? And that's whether smoking, drinking, it's being a workaholic, a shopaholic, being a hoarder. There's all these sort of addictive personalities. Being addicted to social media. This is the whole. I mean, I'm shocked nowadays. I drove past the local tram stop the other day, and everyone was on their phones. I was just
Everyone, yes.
no one was connecting. No one
No,
was connecting person to
no.
person, all on their phones, addicted to their device. And then they all get tech neck because they're all leaning forward, so they all end up hunchback. So now we've got this massive thing of people getting hunchback, neck issues, back issues from too much time on devices. So, being conscious of those kind of things as well, I think is so important to have a long, healthy life. There's so much we can share on this topic. So you worked in the US government, Ronald. What were you doing there out of interest?
I worked for both agencies no longer exist. First, I worked for the U.S. Civil Service Commission, helping state and local governments improve their personnel systems. And later, I worked for the U.S. Atomic Energy Commission, doing similar things. So I did
Wow,
that for 6 years.
amazing.
Right on
And
there.
And now they say every 7 years we have brand new cells. Our whole body is brand new every 7 years, right? So, I've been a big drinker and smoker in my past. I also did drugs back in the day. I was very rebellious, very self-destructive. I didn't love myself, and I definitely didn't love the world. Right? I didn't love other people either. I was in a very destructive stage there through my teenage years particularly. However, thankfully, I've come out of that, and I don't want to live that way anymore. I want to make the most of my life nowadays, which is why I do what I do. So I do wonder sometimes whether any of that damage would have actually carried on at all, or whether you can completely eliminate that kind of harm that we've done to our bodies over the years with that every 7 year cycle.
I'd love to see Big Pharma finance a study to determine that, but I don't think they will. Where's the profit motive?
Yeah, well, yes, there you go. I mean, I feel amazing now, I must say. I'm very rarely sick
And you
nowadays.
had a birthday too. Happy birthday.
Thank you. I turned 52 on the 16th of January. My dad turned
52.
52.
50, I thought 52.
Yeah.
Well,
50.
you look wonderful at 52.
I feel great. I feel great. I feel actually better now than I think I did.
You have a bundle of energy, Aldwyn. You're one of the most energetic people I know.
Thank you, Ronald. I do. And life is energy. So how can you increase your life force or energy force? And by the things that Ronald has shared here, nature, exercise, good water, good food, whole food, minimize pesticides and all that kind of thing. If you can grow your own food, even better.
Avoid the toxic people.
Avoid the toxic people. Yep, exercise. Yeah, all those things. What about things like journaling, or what else do you do?
I journal every day. I also write affirmations every day.
Okay, brilliant. And what sort of things do you journal about?
What's going on in my life, the important things.
Okay.
Yeah, and some of the affirmations I write out every day. I am peaceful and tranquil now. I and my friends are prospering now. Things like that.
Nice. I like that.
And it maintains a positive state.
I love that. And how important is faith for you? Or do you pray or have faith?
That's a good question. For many years, I was an agnostic. Elaine was an atheist until her death. I never was. Nope. Can you still see me?
Yes, I can. Yep.
Okay, good. I can't see you, but that's all right. I was an agnostic because I honestly didn't know. I didn't have an opinion whether that God exists or not until when I was 56, my mother killed herself.
Oh.
Because, as I mentioned, she'd been on pharmaceutical drugs for about 50 years. And when that happened, I happened to be sitting playing bridge at the bridge club on a Sunday afternoon, and I suddenly felt an excruciating pain from my left hip all the way down to my left ankle.
Oh.
And I could barely walk, and I had no idea what was causing this. It was very sudden. Eventually, the pain wore off, and I could walk at least. Anyway, I got home, and within about an hour, my brother phoned to say that our mother had killed herself. So her spirit connected with mine somehow during this 6 hours of extreme pain. And ever since then, I'm not an agnostic anymore. I know there's something out there, but I don't know what it is. I'd like to come up with a word to explain that condition. I don't have one yet. Perhaps you can think of one.
Well, I've heard the term God equaling greater organized design. And
I like that.
I like that as an analogy. And I do believe there is like a godlike force or a, I mean, I was brought up Christian, and
So was I.
That's one story around what this could be, what this energetic force is that's within all of us and around all of us. Some people call it Buddha, Allah, I mean, everyone's got their own stories around what this energy is. And religion, there's been more wars around religion than anything else. So I would say nowadays I'm spiritual. I do believe in a godlike force. But again, what is the real truth with everything? I mean, I think the Bible has a lot of good principles in it. I think, whatever religion you follow or spiritual belief, I think, being kind and compassionate to self and others, I think is the best way to live a great life. Because whenever you have any resentment or anger towards yourself or others, all you're doing is poisoning yourself and killing yourself off slowly but surely. So that's what I think about that.
That's something we mentioned earlier in our conversation. Be the person you want the other person to be. It's that simple.
And looking back on your life, Ronald, looking back at some of the things that you did over time and the lessons that you've now learned, what sort of advice would you give someone who's just starting out?
One thing I advise every young person is do not study for a profession that requires government licensing. Because we saw what they did to the unorthodox doctors during COVID and other unorthodox people who were working in conventional health. They simply shut them down and wouldn't listen.
Yes.
And deprived them of what they'd earned over the decades. So Don't do it. Avoid government as much as humanly possible.
Yes, exactly. The government, government wants to license everything nowadays. I mean, they just want to charge you wherever they can. If you're
they're getting more and more desperate.
They are.
You know what they're doing in Canada now? They're actually doing euthanasia on people who've decided they don't want it after all. But the government doesn't care. They go ahead and kill them.
Wow.
These stories are appearing almost every day. I'm afraid it's going to happen in Australia too, because we do follow the Canadian and American examples.
That is horrible. And the thing is, how would you ever know the truth, right? How would you ever know if your loved ones are being killed? And a lot of these loved ones probably have no other family members, so they're just at the mercy of the hospitals.
One reason I don't enter hospitals.
Yes. Well, if you can keep your health in your own hands as much as possible and do what's right for your body and feel into what the best way is forward for you, that is definitely the way to go. Be as self-sufficient, self-sustainable as possible. And Ronald, you do have great people around you as well. You have a great community there at
You've been terrific.
And you invite great people into your space, which is
we
wonderful.
Invite great people such as you to use our space free of charge. We have that large room that you filmed a number of events in there. In fact, there's one coming up on Sunday, Sound Healing, which you were invited to, of course. And
Sound
Healing.
The sound healings there are amazing. Absolutely love. I've been to them with.
Well, the sound healing people love the acoustics in the room.
Yes, there's quite a few different sound healers you've had through there, and they've all been fantastic, all been different in their own way,
Yes.
but all been excellent. We've got Leith James, who does the gongs, Alex Bastian on. We've had Mira.
Alex will be here on Sunday.
Alex will be there Sunday. Okay, beautiful.
The big gongs, yes.
Yes, nice. Okay, beautiful. Well, that's very exciting. And I'm excited to be doing an event there 10th to the 12th of April. Now, there are kind of like hotel rooms that you have, like you do Airbnb on some of the rooms.
We have 10 private rooms, all en suite, all with queen-size beds.
Yes, and you can book those through Airbnb, but I'm actually booking the whole place out in April. We're doing a fully catered event. We've got 10 rooms that are going to be available. We haven't done the full promo yet, but you'll be hearing about it shortly, just confirming everyone coming on board at the moment, and then you'll be hearing about that. So very excited about that. We've got Leith James is actually coming to do sound healing. We've got Sophie Gabriel is going to be doing some breath work, and we've got Jules Delbridge also, who's going to be doing the catering and doing an empowering talk for us. We've got yourself who's going to be speaking as well at the event. We've also got Kerwin Ray's mother, Elizabeth Ray's going to be speaking about ego is not your amigo. We've got international magician, just announced Jeff Diamond is here from Europe. He is going to come and do some magic and also talk about his long career in the media as well. He's a very dear friend of mine I've known for 30 odd years. He's an extraordinary man. He'll be coming on. So we've got some awesome people. We've got the Shave Cocktails with Claire and Kingston from New Orleans. They've got this amazing shave cocktail machine from 1930s New Orleans coming along. It's going to be a fantastic event. Mocktails and cocktails we'll be doing. We've got yoga happening. We're going to be doing nature walks, and I'm going to be sharing the 4 marketing pillars. I'm going to go through to help people share their message and impact change in the world. So very excited about that coming up, Ronald. And a lot of the Hippocrates people who do events there are going to be there. So you'll get a great taste test of all the different people, a lot of them that have been doing events at Hippocrates and that will continue to do events as well. Jax Malilly's coming. We're going to do some journaling work. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait.
April 10.
April 10 to 12, yes, at Hippocrates. So PM me if you want details for that. We're going to be launching that in the next few weeks. So keep posted. Follow me on Eventbrite. You'll see all my links, my Linktree /all has got all my links. So just make sure you're following me on Eventbrite or Humanitix to get all the updates on our upcoming events. So Ronald, with Hippocrates, it's gone through quite a few changes, I guess, since Elaine passed away. And the last year you've been doing a lot of work on the whole environment's changed. You've been doing a lot of landscaping.
Hugely renovated and landscaped it, yes. Big changes. The rooms look amazing. All the work you've done on the rooms as well. And it's so beautiful with the nature sounds there, all the birds. You've got horses just across the road. And the beautiful thing, it's only about half an hour out from the centre of the Gold Coast. So Mudgeeraba is so close to everything. It's 5 minutes from the M1 and 7 minutes from Robina Town Centre. So, yes, we used to be way out in the bush. Now we're not.
No.
Things have changed on the Gold Coast.
Everything's coming closer to you. Yeah. And I guess in your 83 years too, Ron, you've probably seen a lot of people that have come and gone over the years that have died young, died too young, or just not lived lives that have been fantastic for them. What do you think some of the biggest downfalls have been for people who haven't lived a full life?
About what our conversation's been about, lack of self-discipline. They have the ability to do it here. They experience great results, but for whatever personal reason, they don't do it when they go home. They get back into the old bad habits. My father did that. Came here for 6 weeks, lost 12 kilos at age 75, felt wonderful, and went home and got right back into his old habits and died 6 years later.
So the self-discipline of creating good habits, having good habits, and sustaining the good habits.
Sustaining the good habits. It's hard. Hundreds of people would say to me, oh, I could do this, but my wife won't do it. I could do this, but my husband won't do it. I agree. It's hard. with the family. It's much better if you can get the entire family to do it with you.
And we cannot control what other people do in our family or our friends.
We can't control anything about other people. We can only control our reaction to them.
Yes, and as I say, we either have reasons or we have results in life. And so if you're not getting the results you want in life, then have a look at the reasons and excuses that you've got around that, and be the change you wish to see in the world, as Gandhi says.
Be the change you want to see.
Yes, be the change you want to see, exactly. Anything else you want to share, Ronald, about self-discipline?
I'd love to continue our conversation, but another time. We've been going about an hour and a half.
Yes.
And yeah, let's get some fresh air and sunshine.
We'll start to wrap up. It is a beautiful day here on the Gold Coast.
It is.
Any final quotes you'd like to share, quote or motto?
Let's see what I have here.
Let's see.
Okay, here's one. I love this one. The ultimate human desire, to have a best friend we can't keep our hands off of. Is that good?
I like that.
I recently discovered that one at age 82.
Nice.
Oh, another one about parenthood. Do not, for men especially, do not father a child until your and your partner's desire becomes absolutely irresistible. In other words, you have to really want to. If you don't, you won't do as good a job parenting.
Yes. Yes, that's a great one. Absolutely. Yeah, I love that. And here's a great quote from Dalai Lama, another one. The various features and aspects of human life, such as longevity, good health, success, happiness, and so forth, which we consider desirable, are all dependent on kindness and a good heart.
How true.
That's a great one too. And Deepak Chopra, longevity is not only about living longer, but it's also about living well and living fully.
Yes, it's true.
And this one from Mary Angelo, the joy of life is not just surviving, but thriving with passion and compassion, humor and style. Love that. Oh, it's been amazing chatting with you, Ronald. Happy 83rd birthday for you today. I am
happy number 52 for you, Aldwyn.
Yes, and happy 52 for me. And for those who want to connect with Ronald, of course, they go to his website. Which social media platforms are you on, Ronald, as well, if people want to connect with you?
Facebook. For the most part, only Facebook.
Okay, great.
You can subscribe to our daily news bulletins, which go out to our special database that we own. And you can go to the website, hippocrates.com.au/events, and see what events are coming up, including Sound Healing this next Sunday, 3 days.
Fantastic, and I'll be back there sometime soon as well, attending some of the events. So we look forward to seeing you there. Go along there, hippocrates.com.au/events, and there's a whole lot of amazing products that you can also purchase on the website as well. So check out some of those books and products there that are phenomenal and will help get you back on track with your health if you've been a little bit slack after the festive season, or maybe eating way too much that you probably shouldn't be eating. Maybe it's time to detox after you've been retoxing. Time to detox and get back on track. That is absolutely wonderful. And for those who want to connect with me, hop along to linktr.ee/Aldwyn. You'll see that there, linktr.ee/Aldwyn. And there you'll find top 5 tips to gain TV exposure on my media website. We have the Global Good News Challenge, which is free. And we're also inviting people to come and join our next book, Fear to Freedom, Series 2. So if you want to come and share your story there, reach out to me, send me a PM. We're looking for 11 other authors to come on board for Series 2, and then we'll be doing other books down the track as well. But great opportunity to leave a legacy, share your story of how you've transformed from fear to freedom and the wisdom that you have learned in that journey. And subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you haven't already, you'll see that also in those links, just Aldwyn Altuney Media Queen TV. On YouTube, we have a lot of inspiring content, a lot of amazing interviews with other extraordinary people like Ronald, that you'll find on there. So make sure you hit subscribe on that. Share the love if you've enjoyed today. Thank you so much for those who've joined us live today. Thank you, Aimable. We can see you there on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for all those comments. You can see that on LinkedIn there too. Also, Sean O'Neill, Corinda Marley, for everyone who's joined us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sending you much love today. It is a wrap, and I'm going to give you the clap. We all get the clap. Happy 83rd birthday. Yay! Thank you so much.
Thank you, Aldwyn.
Thank you, Ronald. Any final words before we end the stream?
Looking forward to seeing you very soon.
Yes, you too, Ronald. Enjoy this magnificent day. Sending you all much love. We'll see you again next time on Media Queen TV. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.